Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Geek Nostalgia Podcast. I'm your host, Gene Arona, joined as always by.
What's going on, everybody? It's Dave.
And this week we are going to get into horror movies, horror franchises. But first, we're going to start with a simple question, sort of philosophical question, if you will. And it harkens back to the Halloween episode we did last year when we asked what made a movie or film or TV show Halloweeny, if you will. Not a word, but we'll go with it. We're doing the same thing right now. What is a horror film? What makes something a horror film? Now, Dave, I'll tell you this. I took a few moments and I asked Google, what makes a film a horror film? Its response was, and I quote, a film genre designed to elicit fear, dread, horror, and suspense. So it's kind of generic, but it's also pointing to how it makes you feel, right? Fine. Now, I have some thoughts and opinions on that, and that's coming from someone that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not a horror fan. I wouldn't call myself, I've never considered myself a horror fan, but Dave, I know you are very much a horror fan, and therefore I kind of want to lean into your expertise first and ask you, first and foremost, do you agree with that definition? And secondly, in your mind, horror film, what does that elicit images of to you?
Yeah, I guess I could somewhat agree with that. It makes it sound more like it's just all atmospheric kind of feeling with everything that makes it a horror movie. Myself, what I look for in a horror movie is jump scares, blood, gore, guts. To me, that makes up the horror movie.
Okay. So I read an article from Den of Geek. It was listing the top 31 horror franchises. Now, those lists are always subjective, just like the lists we do. They're subjective. But a couple things jumped out at me, namely the content of that list, because there were franchises on there that I looked at and immediately thought, wait a minute, that's horror? Shit, maybe I am a horror fan if these things are considered horror. Case in point, Predator was on that list. The Predator franchise was on that list. The Underworld franchise was on that list. I love the Underworld franchise. And then it's like, okay, well, so is anything with supernatural characters, beings, vampires, werewolves, zombies, etc. horror? Because if so, then what about Van Helsing, the Hugh Jackman flick, or the Resident Evil franchise, film franchise that is?
Yeah, those are considered horror.
Okay. So then yeah. When you first texted me, Dave, you're like, hey, let's do a ranking episode about our favorite horror films. I kind of hesitate because I'm like, I'm not even a horror fan. And I can't think of that many franchises that it's like, that I love enough to say, yeah, that's going to be on my Mount Rushmore for horror, because I didn't think I was that guy. But if the definitions are allowable for the genre to be defined that widely, then well, maybe I've been thinking about this wrong. So you just a moment ago, you gave us your definition of what horror is, thinking specifically about your favorite franchises. What are the elements of those two or three franchises, rather, that make you love that genre?
Yeah, I mean, like I explained it, the blood, the guts, and some scares here or there.
Okay.
But that's also for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like horror movies, you do have the monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, the Mummy, things like that. That is considered horror.
The Mummy's considered horror?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, okay.
Brendan Fraser?
I don't think the Brendan Fraser one is, but
okay.
I'm talking about like the Universal classic
okay.
Mummy movies, the new Mummy movie coming out.
Okay.
So there's a lot of different things that could be considered a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
That makes it a horror. The Resident Evil. This is the things that are in it. Resident Evil may not be scary, but it has basically zombie-esque and monsters in it.
Okay. And there's scary moments kind of sprinkled throughout.
So there is a wide variety.
Clearly. But one that spans both content and theme, apparently. Well, okay, so let me do this. And this is why I've considered myself not a horror fan all these years, because when I look at films in general, like where I find something acceptable, dread, right? The characters are openly showing dread. Okay. Something I'm not such a fan of, hopelessness. For example, the Romero zombie films, like Day of the Dead, all those of the Dead flicks. It's just, I really felt like narratively speaking, you ended where you started, which was our protagonists, our heroes never had a chance of succeeding or winning or even living. And the whole movie was just an exercise in hopelessness. That's not entertainment for me. Another example, I don't mind if my characters are scared. That's fine. But I don't necessarily want them to be helpless. Case in point, you look at Alien. That's a horror film in just about by about every definition, I think, right? Alien. At the same time, they really didn't have much of a chance against said alien. They were just trying to survive, right? But then you look at Aliens. All of a sudden, motherfuckers are fighting back. They got their big mechs. They're shooting aliens in the face. Like that, if I were to point at something and say, that's my brand of horror, I guess that would be it. Is that I don't mind there being big scary monsters and jump scares and people being scared but I guess I like it more when I got characters that can fight back. It's not just Michael Myers, right? This unstoppable force of nature, and the best you can hope for is to survive the night.
I think with horror movies, it's very opinionated. You mentioned Alien. Alien is considered horror. Aliens is considered more of a sci-fi action.
Mm-hmm. With horror elements, I guess.
Yeah, you could say that, I guess. But it's the first one is the horror, and really none of the others. Well, none of them touched the first one.
Fair,
but because it had the atmosphere, it was just a few lonely survivors, and then this monster going around taking everybody out.
Mm-hmm.
Jaws, that's a horror movie.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. I can totally see that.
So they both have the same kind of theme going on. You have a monster, and you don't really see the monster until closer to the end.
Okay. So this is kind of a sidebar, but I know where you stand on traditional horror films. What about some of the more modern, like the Japanese horror flicks, the trend that The Ring started?
I don't really go out into Asian film that much, just because a lot of the times some movies are playing, it's more in the background type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Asian films, you gotta look at the subtitles. So if I have the time, I'll try to watch something like that. But I mean, it's usually a kung fu film if it's Asian. But I know they do have a lot of really good horror movies.
I only bring it up because to me that is like a modern example of the characters are fucked from the get go. There's no escaping curse of, fill in the blank for any of these Japanese horror movie remakes. But I'm just kind of curious because they stand in stark contrast to something like and I'm gonna butcher the name, like a Nosferatu, one of those classic vampire folks. For those of you who don't know the character, but stand in stark contrast to a traditional horror film. So I was just kind of curious where you stood there.
Yeah, I mean, not to knock it or anything. I know there's a lot of great Asian horror films out there. I just don't really have the time to pay attention like that.
Yep. Fair enough.
Otherwise, I'd be completely lost.
Okay.
But I mean, scenes that I've seen just watching trailers for certain movies and things, they look pretty good.
Okay.
So, and that's another one of those horror. You have different kind of horror fans. Like you do have the ones that they only like the Asian stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You have the ones more like me, where you like the traditional stuff that we grew up with in the 80s. The slasher, campy films. That's what I'm into. Other people are into the stuff like Paranormal Activity or even found footage films.
Oh, yeah.
And then you got people that are into all of it, and that's all they have in their collection. It's just horror movies.
I mean, you know what? You're right, Dave. Maybe it's worth pointing out that horror as a genre spans all of those things equally. So that there's it's one genre, but there's a lot of subgenres under it. And yeah, I mean, that's a fair point. Okay, so we've kind of set the table on where you stand with horror and kind of like your tastes for it and mine as well. Could you pop off with your Mount Rushmore of horror franchises?
For me, it would be Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th. Fourth one would be a little more difficult because I have Child's Play left. I have Hellraiser,
That weird Christmas
Candyman,
clown thing,
oh, Terrifier.
Terrifier.
I mean, that's considered horror too, but that's not scary. It's just all blood and guts.
Okay.
So you haven't seen any of it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's just basically Saw
Okay.
turned up,
Okay.
and it's one person doing it all, two people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but you got people that like the Saw kind of movies. So that's a horror movie. I don't know who I'd put up there fourth because it's definitely Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Friday the 13th for sure.
Okay. Well, marinate on it for a little bit. Let me throw a few at you.
Okay.
My favorite horror franchise is Scream. And I say that, and I've recently come to that conclusion because it is a franchise that I revisit from time to time. And again, I don't consider myself a horror fan, but I like those. And maybe it's because it's sort of a modern take on the 80s slasher flick, and there's some nostalgia there, I guess. But under the established definitions that horror is a little wider than maybe I had previously considered, I would put Underworld up there because I love the Underworld franchise. Nothing about those movies are particularly scary, but I put those up there. And
They got the monsters in them.
they got the monsters. I've enjoyed, even though I don't like zombies as a subject matter in general, I do enjoy the Resident Evil franchise, so I'd put that up there as well. And I don't know if it'd be a complete cop out to throw Blade in there, but because he's kind of a superhero who hunts the scary things. But if I could throw miscellaneous, that'd probably be it.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have a style.
I do.
So kind of an in between, but with Universal monsters and like my kind of horror movies, the slasher films.
Yeah. I'm a big sissy when it comes to horror films. Like, I'm not even going to attempt to dance around that. I don't like to feel scared when I watch movies. So I'm not even trying to avoid that fact.
So you'd mentioned Blade. You can describe it as an action horror or even superhero horror.
Okay. I can live with that.
So, but it's not purely a horror movie. So, like I said, it's like metal music. You have so many different kinds of metal.
Yeah.
So there's got to be so many different kinds of horror movies. So I really like sci-fi too.
Okay.
Do you remember the Sci-Fi Channel?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, a lot of those movies be considered horror movies. Like one that I really love, it's called Screamers.
Sounds familiar.
It's got Peter Weller.
Yeah.
It's these little machines they built to take out their enemy on this planet, and they start attacking everybody.
Okay.
I mean, it's not gonna make you jump out of your seat or anything like that, but it's just one of those sci-fi movies. It's a sci-fi horror.
Okay. How did you remember the movie The Frighteners?
Yeah, Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, I think that's the one that made it famous with the folks. You can't see my hands because this is a audio podcast, but where the hands are like pressed against the wall, and like when he's walking by, and it almost seems like the wall. There's hands inside the wall pressing out at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was such a cool scene. But I would point to stuff like that. I'd point to 13 Ghosts with Matthew Lillard.
Which, I mean, that's a lot more scarier than The Frighteners.
Yeah, and that movie never scared me for whatever reason. I guess in my mind, it was almost like a graphic novel. The way the characters are so kind of over the top. There are some stuff in the horror verse that I have a soft spot for. I love that Supernatural TV show. Something about occult supernatural, that's always held a soft spot for me. Maybe that's why I was the one who suggested we do an episode on Hellboy at some point, because it's kind of the occult as well. Like, I think that stuff's kind of cool. it was really scary to me. And maybe that's what it boils down to is I don't want to be frightened. And when I come across a type of horror that doesn't frighten me, then I guess I allow myself to enjoy it a little more. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I guess you thought horror as if you didn't get scared, maybe.
Yes,
It couldn't be horror.
exactly.
So
Is The Crow horror?
yeah, it's considered horror.
See, folks, I am learning things today. I would have put money on that not being considered horror. And why? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's just like I said, there's several different kinds of horror movies. There are movies that you can classify as being horror.
I haven't given the genre a fair shake. Then that's what it comes down to, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know. It could be more based on the Google description, where it was more atmospheric elements that is considered a horror movie.
Would you consider Lost Boys horror?
Yeah.
Really? That's not scary at all.
Well, it's vampires. It's monsters.
One of my favorite movies ever. I love Lost Boys. Oh, that's wild. I'm blown away right now, Dave.
So you are a horror fan.
I guess I have been. I just didn't realize it. I don't know.
There's a wide range of horror movies out there.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Everybody can find a horror movie,
I'm starting to think you're right.
whether it's terrifying or just gory and like Predator being considered a horror movie. I don't see it as one. I see it more of a sci-fi action movie. But I mean, you have a monster.
You have a monster.
I mean, nowhere near as scary as Alien.
Yeah.
I can't see people when the movie came out. I can't see people jumping at Predator, but I can definitely see them jumping at Alien.
Yes. That's like thematically much darker film. The Alien, there's that you have to tell me which one I'm thinking of, where the Marine is walking and then in the back behind him you see the alien kind of lower down slowly from the ceiling. Almost like he unfurls from the ceiling.
When they're in their hive?
Might be.
Yeah, that's the second one.
Second one, okay. Yeah, that like stuff like that. Those type of scenes where it's like you are anxious for the character, like turn around. No, wait, don't turn around. Just fucking run.
You said Marine, so
I'm assuming that all the characters are Marines, but I guess if it's Marine, it was the second one. But
yeah, but I mean, you had Resurrection, where I guess there were Marines on there. I'm not sure if they actually said, but I mean, it's military. So
fair enough.
But then, I mean, same kind of situation in the third one where they're in the mess hall.
Where the alien pops out the dude's stomach?
No, that's the first one.
Oh, okay.
Third one, they're in the mess hall and they're talking, and then the alien comes down from the ceiling, scoops one up.
I remember that scene.
Ripley was trying to tell them there's an alien here. You need to do something.
Right.
It's like, oh, whatever. And then all of a sudden, one of the guys gets picked up. And then they're like, what was that?
Alien. Like, who gives a, you know? Okay, I'm just curious. On the Alien franchise, Alien was a horror film. Aliens, action. But then as that franchise went on, did you feel like it started to get more back toward its horror roots?
No.
Getting up into Prometheus and some of those later films?
No, I didn't. I mean, the first movie, Alien, is the scariest it's probably ever going to be. Now, if you want to go to video games, Alien Isolation would be number 2. I mean, it's basically the same kind of thing. They're making a second one, so that would be probably number 3.
Okay. Have there been many horror franchises that translated well to video games? Because I mean, I think about Resident Evil, but that started in video games and then went to films.
We have Friday the 13th. That was a pretty good game. The last one they did.
Okay.
There's a Halloween game coming out that looks pretty good.
Okay.
You got the classic NES games and all that, but I mean, as far as being scary, no.
Okay. Thinking of FNAF for some reason.
So yeah, there's some games out there. There's a fighting game, Terradrome or something like that, where it's like Mortal Kombat, but your characters are all these iconic movie characters.
I ended up looking that up on Steam, actually. I did find that.
Yeah, that's not a bad game. And there's 2 of those.
I never got around to downloading it, but That's on my list because I try to collect fighters.
And then you also have, what was it, Dead by Daylight?
I've heard great things about that. I never actually got into it though.
They have skins, basically. You could do a Freddy Krueger one, Michael Myers one, Leatherface one, Ghostface.
Ghostface, yeah.
So it changes the whole game. So you got those.
By the way, Dave, we committed to having a Chuck Norris joke in every episode. Long live Chuck. So you did the last one. I'm going to do this one. And I figured it's horror, so I'll make the joke horror themed. When the boogeyman goes to sleep, he checks his closet for Chuck Norris.
Yeah. You got to watch out for that beard.
Scary, scary man.
Speaking of Chuck Norris, even him, I've mentioned it before, his movie Silent Rage.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would consider it a horror film.
That's got to be considered a horror film. That's a movie monster. It was freaking immortal. They kick him down a well.
I don't know. I really like that one. And I know as a kid, it didn't scare me like Halloween, but it was close. It's considered a hybrid of action and horror.
A hybrid.
Action horror crossover. So there's so many subgenres.
Yeah, it's just hybrid. I don't know.
And I never did a deep dive into the different genres of horror. I thought it was just horror was horror, but
I'm going to say that's a cop out. It's a horror. It's not a hybrid. It's a horror that has some action elements. That's something I was telling you off mic. No genre is just one thing, right? Even the lovey-dovey romantic films typically have a comedic element. They typically have some kind of drama. They have some kind of maybe thrilling moment when love is lost and then they get it. It's more than one thing. So I think if there's anything I'm going to take away from this conversation is that horror can be more than one thing. And that's great because that's my way in.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's the way in for a lot of people. You look at stuff like some goofy like Trimmers. Action-y, sure. But scary because, it's people are trying to survive these big, ridiculous worm monster things. Like, okay, cool. A little bit of horror in there. That's okay. It's not one thing.
yeah. Then you got all those creature features, like Attack of the Ants, things like that.
8-legged freaks.
Yeah.
Oh man, I seen that at your house today. So I haven't even thought of that movie in so long. You know what? Speaking of spiders, Arachnophobia with
Jeff Daniels.
Arachnophobia, the guy from Roseanne.
Oh, John Goodman.
John Goodman. That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was my little brother, that scared him shitless when he was younger. But that was a good one. Now, let me ask you this, Dave. This is what these conversations do nowadays. They go left, they go right, they go wherever the fuck they end up going. Can you name a horror film that actually scared you? You could legitimately raise your hand and say, yeah, that scared the hell out of me when I was younger.
Yeah, Halloween 2.
Why the second one?
Based in a hospital at night. My mom was a nurse, so I had spent time in hospitals at night. And yeah, it's like a ghost town.
Okay.
If it's a small town hospital, like the big ones in the Metroplex or something like that, all the lights are on, people going in and out everywhere. But the small ones, yeah, lights get turned off. You don't really see anybody, especially in the 80s.
So it looked like a backdrop of a horror film.
Yeah, so that, I guess because I've been in that environment,
Okay.
it always scared me a little more.
Dave, It. Stephen King's It.
It never scared me.
That's the clown, right?
Pennywise, yes.
Anyways, that scared the dog shit out of me. I was probably only like 5 or 6 and it was on. And for whatever reason, no one told me to leave the room. And I've watched it as an adult. I think I even referenced this in earlier podcast episodes. That it's an animatronic, right? It's the same movement, left, right, right? It scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. I watched it again recently, and it's like, okay, that's lame. That is fucking lame. But it scared me when I was a kid. Oh boy, did it scare me. Anything else? There's one more that really got me.
I wouldn't consider it a horror movie, but I was scared by two other movies that I can think of. I was scared of Ed 209 in RoboCop
Okay.
for whatever reason. I don't know. It scared me. And then the T-800 skeleton at the end of the first Terminator.
Mhm.
That part scared me, especially where he's chasing him into the building and he's walking down that hall.
Okay.
But they did stop motion for that, so it was kind of blocky looking. So I don't know if that added to me being scared of it or not. But
The Candyman franchise. Oh, sorry, I say franchise. I only watched one of them. But that made me scared of mirrors for years.
yeah, I think when we were growing up, Bloody Mary was the thing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So he didn't want to do mirrors anyway because of that.
All right. Yeah. This is like one segued into the other. It's like I'm never going to look at a mirror. It's stupid. That one scared. That scared the hell out of me. I gotta say, like the usual, the Freddy's, the Jasons, the Halloweens, those never scared me. I don't know why they just never did. Maybe it's because I thought they were campy and ridiculous. Like, why can't they kill these people? This doesn't make sense. I think I was more likely to be scared in horror films that involved regular humans, because then it's not a monster; it's like a regular human. And then you play this concept of some humans, they got monsters in them, and so it was kind of that.
So like Psycho.
Yeah, I think that's a interesting case study. I mean, it's a classic textbook horror film. I thought those had potential to be scary.
Were you ever scared of any black and white horror movies?
No, but I didn't watch that many. Yeah. No. Did you?
When I was really little, yeah, probably 5 or 6.
Okay.
And then, 8 or 9, it was like, oh, this is just it's a thing of the past. It's
Yeah.
not scary anymore.
But I think, too, it's important to separate something. Okay.
Especially the Wolfman.
Well, Wolfman is just freaky to look at.
But I mean, it shows a scene of, his human hand growing hair on it and stuff. And I mean, yeah, at 5 years old, that was scary.
Well, I'll say this, too. I think it's important to separate out a couple things. Something can be, in the moment, in real time, scary because it's a combination of all those things, right? The sound, the lighting, the atmosphere, the characters, the dialogue, the action. It can be in real time scary. But then at the same time, you can have a situation where something in real time is not scary, right? But the imagery is a little disturbing in some way, subconsciously or otherwise. And then, you catch a bad dream or something that night when you're sleeping. Case in point, it's one of the seasons of Stranger Things that me and Crystal were watching. And it might have been the scene where someone that was forced to suck down one of those monster leech things. And I don't know why, but like in the moment, it's like, oh, that's just gross. But that got a nightmare that night. So it's like, even then, and again, this is me claiming to not be a horror fan. It's like, okay, I got to make sure not to watch stuff like that within 2 hours of bedtime. just to be smart about this.
I don't even get nightmares anymore.
Okay.
I did as a kid. But now I think my nightmares now is dreaming about being at work.
Being at work. Oh, you know what is really fascinating to me is the amount of horror films that are based on real life things. Just lots of them or big versions of them. It's horror movies about rats, about spiders, about anything innocuous. I mean, you want to talk about those old black and white horror films. There was horror films about giant ants.
Yeah.
Like regular everyday things. And someone's like, I bet I can make that scary.
The Fly.
That movie was just gross. It was just gross.
The black and white one?
No, I'm thinking of the one. There's a black and white one?
Yeah, originally The Fly was black and white.
No, I'm thinking of
Jeff Goldblum.
That thing was just gross. It was just like, ugh.
Still considered horror, though.
Okay, let me ask you this. Is there any horror that any subgenres of horror that you absolutely detest? Because I
wouldn't say detest because, I mean, everybody has what they like. So if it works for them, works for them. I don't care for found footage. I don't like that style.
Mm-hmm.
So I really don't watch those.
And that was the trend started by like Blair Witch Project and that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, I hear the VHS series is really good,
Mm.
but I can't do the found footage stuff. I don't know why.
Because it looks like shit.
I guess I'm more because the person holding the camera is like the main character. I like to see the main character on the screen the whole time when it's their scene. So maybe that's why I don't really care for
Yeah.
it. Because I mean, like the camera shaking and stuff. That's part of it. And that's cool. You got action movies that do that sometimes when they're running and gunning and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
They'll put the camera on a tumble or whatever, make it shaker camera.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's cool. I mean, they do cool effects. I think I want to see the main character. So
Okay.
maybe that's why.
Okay. So for me, while I've learned a lot about horror in this conversation, and I'll be open minded to it, more open minded going forward, there is, in fact, one subgenre of horror that I detest. And that's never going to change. Stuff in the veil of Saul. To me, that's all torture porn and it's garbage. The stories suck. The characters suck. The backgrounds suck. And it's just filmmakers looking to create a narrative with as much pain and gore just for the sake of pain and gore. I remember the very first Saul, and I can't remember the actor's name on there, but he's a well-known actor. Princess Bride,
Oh yeah,
that guy.
yeah.
He was like Captain Exposition for that whole goddamn movie. And then, the whole hand thing at the end, it was just like, no. Like, this just, so many things about it I didn't like, I don't like, I never will like. That whole subgenre of horror is trash to me. I get some people may be into it. I don't know what, because I don't see that it has any redeeming qualities whatsoever.
I mean, I can't watch 10 or 11 of them in a row, but it's nice to throw on something that's just bloody and gory every now and then.
Respect. It's not for me, but respect.
I mean, I'd rather have a big killer chasing them around, like a Jason or a Freddy or something.
Okay.
And so I guess my fourth one on the Rushmore, now that I've had time to think about it, it's still hard. I guess I would just put Child's Play on there.
Okay.
There's enough of them, and the older Chucky movies were scarier. Second one was probably the one where he was the best, I would say.
Yeah.
But what would be your Rushmore?
I'm going to stick with where I'm at. Scream goes up there because I continue to enjoy those movies. Not saying they're the best things ever, but I enjoy them. Underworld, if that gets to be considered horror, then I'm going to put that up there. Blade series, and I've enjoyed the Resident Evil franchise by and large because there's been a good mix of action, and so I'm gonna put that up there. That's my fourth. By the way, when you first texted, I didn't know more than 2 franchises that I'd be willing to put up there because I, again, did not consider myself a horror guy. But now that we've had this conversation, I have a Mount Rushmore of horror, damn it.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everybody can be a horror fan these days. So many different styles out there. Now, okay, what would be a genre that you would want to try to get into more? A horror genre.
I don't know if there's anything I want to get into more because I don't have any burning desire to go watch the Halloween flicks or jump into the Jason flicks or anything like that.
So you don't want to branch out and try to.
No, I think, stuff like Underworld where there's some supernatural elements, but there's some action to it as well. I like that. I'm always down for a warrior priest of some kind. I think that stuff's cool. Stuff like Van Helsing, Monster Hunter type stuff. I'm down. I'm down for that kind of stuff. But I think getting to the point where I can now say that there's things in the horror world that I'm a fan of is probably good enough for me. I don't know that I want to necessarily go deep diving on stuff. Just know that when I enjoy certain things, that hey, this is horror, and I'm enjoying horror right now.
Where do you stand on Poltergeist, The Exorcist?
No, none of that.
You know, I'm a pretty big fan of possession movies.
Okay.
I like those, but there's really not a franchise that I'd put on Rushmore. I mean, it would definitely be up there if I could put genres as a Rushmore. Possession would be up there because there are a lot of good ones like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of subgenres to horror I'm coming to realize. But I would also say too that there's probably a lot of one-offs that they never became franchises, but they're still quality movies.
Yeah, that's a lot of the possession movies.
Yeah. I was thinking of a movie called Trick or Treat.
Which one?
The one where there's the demon from the music record or whatever. It's very music based. There's a demon rocker guy.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I remember watching that when I was younger. Totally campy. But for some reason, I watched that like 5 or 6 times when I was younger, and I really enjoyed that.
A lot of people haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
So have you seen the other Trick or Treat?
Play the record backwards. No, I've seen the case for it, but I've not watched it.
Okay.
I remember seeing it when it came out, like seeing the physical DVD, but it wasn't VHS back then. I mean, DVD, but no, I never watched it. Where did you fall on Jeepers Creepers?
Yeah, I mean, it's, grab some popcorn.
I enjoyed the first one, but then it went downhill from there.
I heard the last one. That's was really terrible. I have not seen it yet.
Fair enough.
I've seen some really terrible ones that probably shouldn't have been made. And I don't even know what genre they would even be in. They're just so ridiculous. Children of the Corn, you ever see that?
Oh, yeah.
What do you think of that?
To me, that's in the same category as like Pet Cemetery and some of these flicks that are a good watch one time. That's probably what I'd say about that. You know what I mean? I didn't dislike it. It's just watched it one time. Okay, well, that was a thing.
So I wonder, would you consider that a possession?
Sorta. I don't know. That's hard. It could have just been crazy as shit. I don't know.
Christine?
I'm thinking of the fire starter lady.
Carrie?
Carrie. Yeah.
No, this is a car.
Oh, it was okay. It probably was possession. It was a car. I mean,
I do like a good vehicle possession movie.
okay.
Christine, Maximum Overdrive.
Okay. You know what else I'm not a fan of? Post-apocalyptic zombie flicks. I know I kind of mentioned that with the Romero, and that tends to be what they all end up being, is post-apocalyptic, the world's ending. I have a hard time investing in those characters because I feel like they're all going to die.
Is that not what Resident Evil 3 was?
Yeah.
It's even called the Apocalypse, right?
Yeah, but at least there's a lot of action involved.
Okay.
Mia Jovovich, am I saying that right?
Mia Jovovich,
yeah. Kicks a lot of zombies in the face and shoots a lot more in the head. So it's at least entertaining. Not so entertaining when you have like opening dialogue and the main group of characters like, we're going to survive this. Don't you worry. We're going to survive. We're going to make it out. We're going to make it out. Fast forward 90 minutes and everyone's had their face eaten off. I'm like, that wasn't worth my 90 minutes.
But you watch a zombie movie, not for the survivors. You watch it for the effects, for the gore.
And see, maybe that's where, I think you hit the nail on the head, Dave. I think that's where I tend to dislike horror, is because I watch films first and foremost for escapism. Like, I want to go somewhere else and enjoy my time there. I don't want to play in a reality that's sadder than actual reality. You know what I mean? That's not gonna make me feel better. I was like, I don't know. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the root.
You just don't like gore.
Gore. I mean, I watched a lot of gory action flicks and enjoyed those.
That's action, though.
Still gore.
Yeah, but it's different.
I mean, Boondock Saints is gory. People are taking 9 mils straight to the dome, like all movie long.
That's
one
not
cat.
gory. That's a little bit of blood.
What?
Cat part was
That
gory.
cat got exploded, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know how. It was just what, a single pistol caliber. He ain't good, but whatever. It
But
went boom.
so like when you watch a horror movie and somebody's trying to put their guts back in
Oh yeah,
or
that's
something
pretty.
like that, that's still a little different than when a zombie's pulling the guts out and squeezing it with their fingers.
Yeah, I think that's eliciting a very specific visceral response. Yeah, so that's different. You're right.
So action's different kind of gore. You know, what was it? The Patriot, where you see the cannonball go through and it cuts the guy's leg off because
Yeah.
he's bouncing through the ground. I mean, that's gore too.
Yeah.
But
Or when he takes down like 6 people with a machete or something. No, it was an axe. It's pretty gory.
but you'd rather watch the guy get his leg taken off with a cannonball than cutting his foot off to get out of the cuffs.
Yes.
See? So you're okay with action gore. You don't like horror gore.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Because hell, there's a focusing on the Patriot when he saves his son from those guards, and again he has the hatchet. That's the word I was looking for, like the hatchet or whatever. Like he gets one of those guys down on the ground. He just like starts hacking away at him, and there's like blood like squirting up in his face. Like that's as gory as any slasher flick. But for whatever reason, it's action, so now I'm rooting for the guy, even though he's literally doing exactly what the bad guy did in all those 80s slasher flicks. Just convinced that his motivation is more pure.
Okay. But now, since The Predator, or Predator, is considered a horror movie, when he rips the spine out with the skull attached from Billy.
I'm gonna have to go YouTube that because I don't remember.
Oh, you don't remember that? It's either Billy or Blaine. I think it was Billy.
That's like some Sub-Zero Mortal Kombat shit right there.
Because he was up in the tree, he rips it out, and he kicks the body down.
I have to look that up. I can't believe I don't remember that.
Yeah, well, you just ruined my whole point here. I was going to see if you thought that was too gory or not, or if that was acceptable. Because
Well, look, no, actually, I just made your point for you because I referenced, hey, that's like Sub-Zero's fatality.
okay,
And I love Mortal Kombat. I've played every Mortal Kombat game since the original, back in whatever that was, in '92. Love that stuff. That's gore.
oh, you're a different kind of guy, I guess.
I guess so. It's not scary gore.
That or Predator really shouldn't be in the horror genre.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's a weird thing. It really is. Because it has all the elements.
Yeah, Human Centipede. What about that?
No shot. I've never watched it. Never going to watch it. Like, yeah, it's just gross. It's just gross.
It's considered horror though.
It's horrible. Like, it's just gross.
You've never seen it. You can't say it's horrible.
It sounds gross. Like, what, sewing bodies together and shit.
They made 3 of them.
Wow.
I've seen all 3.
Oh.
The third one's a little ridiculous.
Oof. Oh, thank you.
What about TV shows? You said Supernatural.
Well, yeah.
Any others?
I mean, I've watched mostly the campy stuff. Supernatural, I think Grimm. There was a TV show based on the Grimm brothers where they're essentially hunting monsters. I've watched The Witcher, which there's some horror elements to that. He's hunting monsters. I think, pretty much anytime there's a good guy hunting monsters, I'm pretty much down for that.
Would you consider the Addams Family or the Munsters horror?
No. Well, horror comedy, I guess, or comedy horror,
I don't know. I mean, the Munsters, you got the classic monsters in there.
gothic comedy. I mean, I guess if you had to throw gothic under the umbrella of horror, then it'd be like a gothic comedy thing. I don't know.
It's considered to have a horror theme.
Yeah, I mean, it's like The Haunted Mansion. That's a family movie, but it takes place in a haunted house. So the themes are there, the character types are there, ghosts, and I mean, is Pirates of the Caribbean a horror film? No. There's ghosts.
Well, then in that case, Hocus Pocus is a horror movie too.
Yeah.
The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. So we're finding the edges of this argument clearly of what is horror, the very, very edges.
Yeah, I mean it's bigger than what you think, but there are limits.
I mean, there's got to be some definition somewhere. All right, Dave, I'm tapped out on Halloween. See, we're going backwards on horror. Do you have anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I think if I could branch out more, I would like to make more time to see Asian horror movies because I mean there is a lot there. Yeah, it might have to wait until I can retire one day
Fair enough.
to have time to do it. Because like I said, when I watch subtitle movies, I gotta have the action, like kung fu. I can't get enough of that stuff. It's good.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. More John Wicks. An unending amount of John Wicks. I'll be okay with that.
I mean, John Woo did some pretty good stuff.
Mhm.
One thing we could also kind of touch on, and I guess you could call it Asian because I mean, it started over there. Godzilla. It's a monster movie. It's a kaiju film, so it's actually not classified as horror. But
Creature feature.
no, not even that. It's kaiju.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not scary by any stretch of the imagination, but
Well, I mean, kaiju is a giant monster, but there's sci-fi action.
well, there you go.
Some of them are considered to lean into horror, but I know it's just weird. Like if you're gonna put Predator and Alien in there, why wouldn't you put Godzilla in there?
Yeah, I mean it's a fair point. It's a fair point.
But something I was gonna hit on earlier, and I got sidetracked with something else. But yeah. Anyway, horror movies. It's probably something for everybody in it,
Yeah, clearly.
and there's probably more horror movies than any other kind of movie, especially with all those subgenres.
Yeah, I mean there's consistent releases of them every year, especially around Halloween, as you know.
Yeah, well, and I mean, back in the '80s, they were coming out daily.
Oh yeah,
With new ones, straight to video. I mean,
yeah. My goodness, there's a
they-
lot
they-
of garbage that came out in the '80s, the slasher flicks. But yes,
it's all classics.
oh, class.
All classics. All good stuff.
Fair
Worth a
enough.
premium, too.
Well, Dave, I thank you for going down this path with me because I now consider myself a fan of at least some horror versus a fan of none of it. So I'm going to call it
Welcome.
growth.
Welcome to the group.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, then we are signing off. Thanks again for tuning in. Until next time, I'm your host, Gina Rona.
And I'm Dave.
Y'all take care.